Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I'm Gav. It's Sunday night. It's me, Emma, Shawnee, Keith should be along shortly, and Liverpool 4, Brentford 1 at the G Tech Community Games Stadium in Brentford. So I think that's what it's called. I hadn't a clue what that stadium was called yesterday until I was listening to the post-match show with Matt, and he named it. I was like, "Well, what are you really okay?" So, anyway, Brentford 1, Liverpool 4, 3 points, 4 goals. Salah returns, but injuries to Jota, injuries to Jones, and there's loads of rumours going around as to what's going on there. But I doubt you will hear anything official until tomorrow at the earliest, when scans are checked and all that sort of messing. But let's get into it. Shawnee, how are you? Another 3 points for the Reds, but it did come at a cost.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of sours it a little bit, but yeah, 3 points and a fucking banana skin out of the way of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been dreading since these kind of blocks of games were like in place. I kind of looked at that Brentford away when I went, that's always a poxy game. Oh yeah, it's a 12:30 kickoff now as well. That's great stuff. That's a great bit of gear. That going away there at 12:30 is always fucking brilliant for Liverpool, isn't it?
Crack.
But
MT phones.
always good crack. Yeah, 3 points and fucking, as ourselves user in WhatsApp groups with me, I'm fucking devastated, man, over the potential loss of Jota for a long. It's definitely long term anyway, in terms of more than 6 weeks, a crucial part of the season when he's one of the most clutch players. But there is the comfort of we replaced him with Mo Salah yesterday, so it could be fucking worse. Like, you know what I mean? It could be worse. But yeah, just kind of keep rolling now, isn't it? We're gonna need luck. You don't win out without luck. It's been a shite week in terms of luck, in terms of Trent having a reoccurrence and then Allison being injured again because he's fucking. We won't get into that. And now Jota, and look, Darwin should be okay, and we don't know what the story is with Jones, but we'll have all the lads on the TikTok who are have known their experience, looking at a few videos and then coming to conclusions, and then it's like going on Google when you have a headache and then you just start sending out bleeding. You start sending out the invoices to Ron Massey, going, "Look, listen, I'm going to see it."
Yeah, I have a sore back, and I'm definitely going to be dead in the next 3 days.
Just do a soup and sambos and don't make a
Full
big fuss.
carvery. Hold on. I refuse. Any funeral should have a full carvery. Don't care what anyone
Yeah,
says.
so
I
we'll
was
see
only
what.
having that conversation today. I fucking hate carvery.
What?
I hate carvery.
Well, I
I
tell
hate
you,
carvery.
you go out
I
and
had a
get
good
enough
one.
meals, you don't eat
No,
carvery.
no, I don't eat carvery. No.
Right?
I was only having that conversation with the missus today when we were having our dinner. I said
Yeah.
I hate carvery. Now she was having roast beef. It's probably the same as a carvery, except it gets brought to your bleeding table. But I
Jesus,
hate
Keith.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
Jesus.
Jesus!
Oh, I can't hear him. He's hold on. Don't do anything, Keith. Don't do anything.
Don't-
There you go. Can we hear you
Can
now,
you hear me
Keith?
now?
Yeah. Go on. Anyway, we're talking
Yeah.
about carveries, Keith. I was saying a
Yeah.
carvery has to be a full carvery at funeral. Emmett hates carvery, and all because Shawnee said, "Look, there's people on Google going looking up back injuries and knee injuries and invoicing Ron Massey over Jota and stuff like that." So that's all we talked about, Keith. You've missed fuck all.
I've missed nothing. I've had a nightmare. My laptop power won't come on. It's going off and off. So, it might be brief tonight, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, no bother. Anyway, Emma, sorry, where are we? Yeah, Shawnee is going on about the injuries and stuff like that. You're absolutely talking shy with regards to the carvery and stuff like that. But Emma, look, I'll get into the injuries in a little bit. We're going to get into the game coming up during the week, which I believe you're going to, Keith.
I am, man.
Yeah, it looks like there might be a couple of bodies out. But just on the game itself, like we always do on a Sunday, going into it, the win itself, a couple of players we always do that. If you want a minute by minute, action by action take on it, the lads done their post-match show yesterday, Matt and Kev, so that's there available for download and on our channel if you want to. But Emma, first to you then. And Shawnee already said it going into those games, he was looking at that going, for fuck's sake. But Emma, going into it, like, it is a 12:30. We've had bad luck all week with regards to, Szoboszlai, Allison, Trent. we're getting Bradley back. Salah looks like he'll be back and stuff like that. But it's still one of those games. They're not in great form. I think they took 9 points from 39. I heard during the commentary yesterday. But it's still one of those games, isn't it? When you're going in, going, these fuckers, like we've literally drawn with them when we should have won, and we were terrible there last season.
Yeah, so Klopp has never got a win there. I think this was his third time trying, as far as I know, and I think he's been beaten and drew. Yeah, it had the potential to be a banana skin, but because so many people were talking about it being a banana skin, and because of, and this is going to sound, yeah, right, I thought it'd be just like us to go and absolutely smash them. Now, I know we probably didn't smash them. Scoreline probably suggests that we did. But yeah, half 12. I think we've won all of our half 12s, and yet everybody hates a half 12. Have we won all of them? I'm nearly sure we have.
Man City, we drew.
We drew 1-0 with City.
We played City, yeah.
We haven't lost one. But yeah, no, look, these games are potential banana skins. Not many people have gone there. Even the top 6, I don't think many have gone there and got wins. They've got draws and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a tough place to go. Ivan Toney back, who
Big red,
I think
top red. Ivan Toney.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, but I wouldn't have him at Liverpool. I think he's a bit of an arsehole, to be honest with you. But he's always a danger man. Mopay is in good form as well. I never thought I'd say those words, but they seem to be kind of teaming up well, the pair of them. So yeah, it was a potential banana skin. I didn't get to see it, so I was listening to it on the radio. So I was kind of glad that I wasn't going to watch it, because it did have the potential to be a banana skin. But then when the first goal goes in, I kind of relaxed a little bit. I think that's important for us. If we get to half time and we haven't scored, it kind of encourages the other teams. The fact that we got the goal in the first half, to me, kind of maybe relaxed me a little bit. I didn't see the score then until it was 3-0. So,
Keith, you know, we're going into it, and I think most of us are kind of the same. I was a bit not nervous going into it. I was just a bit apprehensive of, you know, if we're a bit slow out of the blocks here, these are sort of fuckers and get a goal on you, and they're quite happy to sit in, and then they're looking for Toney and that other clown that plays up front for them. He's not any good, Mopay. But like I would have been way more worried if you had him Bueno and Wisse, because when he plays them two with Toney, they're magic at times. And I'm hoping a couple of them are back for midweek when they play City. But Keith, when you look at the air lineup, we had go Keller and goal because of Alisson. But having said that, it's blessing in disguise for Kelleher maybe. So he's going to play this. He's going to play Luton. He has the cup final, so he's getting a bit of a run before that. Bradley is back. I think everyone was happy with that, because obviously Trent is out. Robertson gets the nod over Gomez. Konate comes back after suspension. And in midfield, Endo, McAllister, Jones kind of picks itself. You know, Gravenberch and Eddie, I feel like they're the fourth and fifth men at the minute. And then up front, Salah's on the bench, so the front three are the front three. And did you think, look, we have enough going into this? Because I was apprehensive, but I looked at it and went, physically, I think we're good in that side. And I think if Salah's coming off the bench, Gravenberch, Elliott, and Gomez should be needed for physicality, I felt we'd have enough. I just wanted us to take control of the game early.
Yeah, I suppose when you look at the team now, and we'll touch on it later on when we talk about the injuries and things like that. Like, we've got a squad there that you're looking at whatever combination are going in there, and you're happy enough that they'll at least battle and they'll at least try. And I looked at the team and I thought, yeah, happy enough with that. I'm delighted to have Endo back, because I think it makes a huge difference, and I think he was excellent yesterday. I think, you know, the likes of Brentford was always a difficult game. It was always a hard place to go. The stats saying we hadn't won there before, but this is a different Brentford as well. I was confident enough going in when I saw the team. I thought, you know, as with a lot of it, it depends what sort of Darwin Núñez you're getting will dictate how you play. And I thought he was excellent first half, and happy enough with that. You know, that you see Núñez playing and you see Jota and Diaz. I mean, when you've got a front three like that, and you've still got Salah on the bench and you've got Cody Gakpo on the bench, it just shows the strength that we have in depth that we haven't had in other years. You know, we've had better maybe teams before, the Bobby, Sadio, Mo sort of trio up front, but this now is a genuine sort of five. Right? We all know Gakpo isn't going to be the same as, you know, Jota, but they're good players that can come in and do a job when you need them to. So looking at it, whatever combination we went with, I'd have been confident enough going into this one. And the midfield at the moment is picking itself just because Gravenberch and Elliott are maybe on the outside. You wouldn't start Elliott in many games. I think he's better coming in as an impact sub. And Gravenberch's done okay. I think he's getting a bit of unfair criticism, but if he plays, he plays. So, we don't have a lot of numbers, but what we're putting out there, I'm always confident that we can do things and will be going forward, even with the news of the injuries. I'd expect that we'll be able to put out teams that can deal with these. And I was impressed with how we went about it yesterday, Good game.
Yeah. Someone's killing someone. What was I going to say? Shawnee, over to you. Bradley coming back. We always, I feel like we just talk about Bradley every week. But for what he went through in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, he comes back. And I was delighted to see him back. Just talk to me about the fullbacks, because I think the centre halves done a really good job yesterday. But the fullbacks were where the focus was going to be for me. Bradley, I think, is excellent. I think Gomez is a bit unlucky not to be in the side. But the fullbacks done really well, didn't they? And with a youngster coming in and an experienced man coming back and getting into a rhythm, they're two more pluses again for us. I know there's negatives coming later that we're going to talk about, but they're two huge pluses for us.
Yeah, massively so. I think we spoke about it last week when we weren't fucking crippled with injuries. We talked about the kind of luxury this season where you have no real issue seeing Quansah or Bradley in a forced 11. I don't typically have issues with forced 11s because I'm 31 years of age, to be honest with you. But it's one of them things now where you kind of don't flinch if you see them in there. And I think the best compliment I can play Conor Bradley is that he's literally Andy Robertson at right back. That's why he reminds me of Andy Robertson when he forced burst into Liverpool. Not that Robbo has lost any of his quality or his enthusiasm, but obviously it's not to the level as it was when he force breaks into the team. But that's exactly what I see with Bradley at the moment. That energy, that enthusiasm, and then the quality to boot. I thought it was really good yesterday. He's a threat, a real threat going forward, and a different sort of aspect to Trent, where Trent can hold you from deep and open you up with passes. Bradley is like fucking blood and thunder down the line in the box. You always see him popping up around the box. He always seems to be on the scene if the ball is kind of breaking on the edge. So I've absolutely no issue with Bradley being in there. It's actually was so fucking lucky that he has had this sort of breakthrough into the team, because Trent would have been a huge miss, but thankfully there's not been a game yet where you turn around and said, you know what, we really missed Trent today. And I think that's the biggest compliment I can play him. And then it's great to have Robertson back. Since the turn of the year, since maybe October, November, Joe Gomez has been a real standout performer for Liverpool, in my opinion. I think I won't be so dramatic to say that he's probably saved his Liverpool career, but he's definitely justified the means of him giving that new contract a few years ago after a couple of really bad injuries. And it's really nice to see kind of a faith in a player being repaid by him sticking it out, because he could move. Joe Gomez could move and play centre back for most teams every week. Probably play Champions League every week. Maybe sign for Spurs and play Champions League every week next year. He's good. He's definitely good enough. And the only problem we ever had with Jones or with Gomez is that his body seemed to let him down, but he seems to be really trusting in his body again. And then that gives us another, because we're seeing Gomez as a real left back option now, and he's still a centre back as well. At the end of the day, he can still play centre back. And despite all of the talk we've had about the players that we're missing now, you need to remember Joel Matip is out for the season, and you don't really, it's not being taken into account really, because we've been good and we've not struggled there. But Matip's a huge player for Liverpool on any other day, and that just goes to, that speaks volumes of the strength of the squad, that we've not really missed these lads, although they've been long-term misses, because the likes of Bradley's, the likes of Quansah, and the likes of Gomez have really stepped up. in the absence of any of the lads at the back. And I think if that's a theme of the season, then we should be optimistic because Gakpo, Darwin, Diaz, and Jota all stood up in Salah's absence. There's a chance now Jones could be out for a little bit. We don't know what spitballing, but I was really impressed with Gravenberg when he came in yesterday, and I feel Gravenberg has got something to prove. Like, we paid money for him. Like, it wasn't a drop in. He came in and he's really good at the start, and his performance is probably tailed off a little bit, which is fair. Which is when you're in and out, it can happen. But he needs to step up more, and squad players need to step up now. And like, you kind of get the bit of a knee jerk out of the way after the injuries yesterday, but you have to remember like that this Liverpool team have like been scrapping from very, very
Yeah,
early
because
in the season.
Jono says there we have the deepest squad in the Premier League. Give
Yeah,
Arsenal
look,
and City the equivalent injuries and they'd struggle more than us. He said that about 4 minutes into the show. I kept it.
yeah,
Next Level says Bradley was exceptional yesterday. We found a gem. It's a pity he plays for the North because he walks into the Ireland 11. I wouldn't inflict that Ireland team on anybody. And I mean that. I wouldn't
yeah.
inflict them on
It's just
anybody.
like we've been grinding literally from the kickoff with going down to 9 at Newcastle, 9 at Spurs, 10 at Newcastle, 10 at home to Bournemouth. We've like I think the adversity has kind of it's been there since the start, and we've more or less answered every question. You could be skeptical about the Arsenal game a couple of weeks ago, and that can happen. That can happen when you just don't turn up, and they do when you get beaten, well beaten. But I think we're gonna have to lean into the whole the fact that Klopp's off in May. If like it's gonna take a fucking colossal effort to win this league, and I think it's definitely possible. It becomes a little bit more difficult when you lose players like that. But then you see City yesterday, and then you kind of go, do you know what? We should be fucking up for this, and we shouldn't wilt, and you should enjoy every single second of these next 14 league games because it's all in the melting pot. As far as I'm concerned, it's absolutely there to be won. Um, so look, eh, buckle up. That's all I'm gonna say. Buckle up
Buckle in,
because
all bring all your cans onto the quadruple bus,
yeah,
and we'll be all
get
right.
on that.
That's the way we should be.
Yeah,
Passio says Jota scans not done and checked until tomorrow. Stop with this, and he's not talking to you. He's talking to people, quoting the 2 months there. We're not going to tell you how long Jota's out for because we haven't got a fucking brace, right? So we're not going to pretend we do. What we will do is have a little chat later about the effect on the squad that the likes of Jota and Jones being missing has on not only the squad but other players around them. Emma, talk to me about the midfield because Endo and McAllister in particular that were extras yesterday. Endo's a madman, right? We go on about Darwin Núñez being mad. Endo's a bleeding head case, right? Gets a yellow card, looks at refs as if, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And just keeps doing these little sly ones and stuff like that. And do you know what? It's the sort of stuff that we've given out for years about Man City and stuff doing and getting away with. And Endo seems to just brought this in where he's like, I'll do this. But I thought he was excellent. I thought McAllister was excellent. It's a brilliant goal he gets. But then you look at Gravenberch that has to come in. I thought Gravenberch was really good when he come on. Those two are crucial, aren't they, Emmy? Endo and McAllister right now.
Well, the three of them are all involved in McAllister's goal.
Yeah, but them two are huge at the moment because we're waiting on Szoboszlai to come back. Elliott's still there. But as good as those two were, does Elliott and Gravenberch now look and go, right, hold on. You know what I mean? If Szoboszlai is out, if Jones has done his ankle, and we don't know how long that's going to be, Jones could be fucking playing Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? He could be playing the cup final. He could be out for 6 weeks. We don't know. But surely those players now have to look and go, right, I've been coming on, I've been influencing games like Elliott has been. Gravenberch is going out and finding me feet. But they must look now and go, this is a real chance now for, not to nail down like a definite starting 11 spot, but really make a massive influence on this Liverpool season.
Yeah, I think Keith's right. I think Gravenberch has probably got kind of the shitty end of the stick from some people. You can see the quality that he has. He has played really well in games, but Shawnee's right. You're coming in and out of games. You're not starting. You're getting 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Probably not playing in the position you want to play in. It's not only is it a chance for them to kind of not cement the place in the team, but it's basically to show that they contribute to the squad. And I think probably the person that might benefit from it most is probably Gravenberch. I'd say probably lean more so towards Gravenberch than Elliott if it's a case of filling the Jones role. Gravenberch does play on the turn. He does try and get forward a little bit like Jones. He holds on to the ball a little bit like Jones as well. But don't forget you've got Gakpo as well that could easily do a midfield job as well. It's the squad is, and John was right, we probably do have the deepest squad. There's never really a massive drop off when people come in. But I listed out who's like taking into account that Jones might be injured, Jota might be injured. When you list out the players that we still have, there's still plenty there without even dipping into the McConnells or the Clarks or the Kumas. Okay, you're nearly saying Bradley's part of the first team squad.
Oh, he is. 100%.
Yeah,
he is.
big time. But I think there's still enough there. Talk that Szoboszlai might be back for the bench on Wednesday. If not, he'll be back for the cup final. Yeah, look, all of these are going to... Shawnee's right. You're probably going to have to kind of drag on the Klopp's last season. But, like, it doesn't matter how often you play or how well you play. As long as you contribute to the team, anything that you win, you get a medal for. So, do you know what I mean? It's that they're all going to be pulling in the right direction. I think it's more so Gravenberch than Elliott, to be honest with you. Not dogging Elliott at all, but I do think that he's probably made the first sub his role. We spoke about it last week. But yeah, they're going to step up. I'm just glad we have them to rely on than what we've had on in previous years.
Yeah, I think we've an extra layer of protection there, I suppose, before you do start getting down to the McConnells and the Kumas.
Whereas previously,
and that's
Keita, Oxlade, Chamberlain, we were getting a Martin in.
You'd be bypassing them and going to the Tyler Martin, etc. Yeah, and that's nothing against the young lads. It's just the pressure we're under now, or the pressure that's coming, is probably not fair on them. With the lack of experience you have. Now, you never know. There's usually someone that pops up towards the end of the season, never played a bleeding game in their lives. Remember that McKay, the fucker? And then just scores a goal and makes a big influence. And that could happen with a Liverpool player. Keith, let's get on to the forward line, because I want to start talking goals, right? Before we get to the injuries and stuff like that, and a little bit on Klopp. But Keith, at the forward line yesterday, it's all very disjointed because of the injury and stuff like that, and and then Salah has to come on, and then we get on to Salah in a bit. But let's talk about Darwin Núñez, because like, what a bleeding goal. It's a free for Brentford. It's launched in the box. It falls down. Van Dijk just comes on and says, no messing here, and launches it. And I think Jota produces one of the best assists I've ever seen. The ball is coming down with snow on it, right? At about 50 miles an hour, with a defender up his hole, and he just places a header into the middle of the pitch for Núñez. It's absolutely brilliant. And then the finish, what I love, Keith, is he looks at the keeper, and then he could have a load of options: slot it left, slot it right, go around him, hit it hard, wherever it might be, and then he just decides, fuck this, and he just chips him. And the Brentford fans start cheering, thinking it's going over, and it drops into the net. If you have any doubt over this fella's confidence, them doubts have to be gone, Keith. He's one-on-one in a tight game, and he just does that. It was sublime.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about the assist. I thought it was excellent. Jota's so good in the air. I'd say he's criminally underrated for his, and not by Liverpool fans, because we all seem to know, but the headers that he wins. Now, Brentford are the architects of their own downfall there, because they're piling everyone forward and not keeping much back. And Liverpool, with them being a fast break team, you think they'd have a bit more back there. But Jota wins the header, cushions it in, expecting to get it back, I'd say, as well. But Darwin goes through, and he's running with it, and you're like, right, and maybe it doesn't flash before his eyes, right? Maybe he's just weird like this. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, right, what the fuck is he going to do here? Because we've seen him trying to slot them and miss. We've seen him trying to blast them and miss. We've seen him going around the keeper to an open goal and hit the post. Yeah. So I'm like, I've run out of ideas here, Darwin. I don't know how I'm going to be defending
just
on Sunday night. Just push the keeper out of
the way and then kick it in, something like that. Yeah.
But he decides to bleed, and not only the whole chip, right? Could have chipped him from further out. Wait till he gets into the box, and your man is breathing down his neck, and then decide to loop one over the top. Now, when you look at all the different views of it today, they had, the videos going around. It's a sensational goal. Absolutely sensational. Because I love a chip. You can't beat it now. You don't see them that often anymore. A nice little dink over the keeper, but it's sublime and it's ridiculous because he has to learn to slot them. You know what I mean? At some stage, he's going to have to learn to slot them. But that was a sensational goal. And similar to his header last week against Burnley, a fucking outrageous header. He does the outrageous simply, and he cannot do the simple things. Do you know what I mean? I love him because of all this weird shit, but he's the weirdest footballer you'll ever see. He is the weirdest striker you're ever going to come across.
You know what remind me of? Remember that episode of The Simpsons where Bart wants the game and he gets Lee Carvalho's putting challenge, and then he's on the green and it's like, I suggest feather touch. And then it's like, you have selected power drive. He just does the fucking honest to God. And it wasn't a dink. There was snow on the thing coming down.
Yeah,
amazing.
But the whole trajectory of it was just mad. And he's in the box. I'm looking at him like, you're too close now. Like, what are you thinking this?
Yeah.
Your man's huge, right? And he's up making himself bigger. And he's fucking scooping the thing over him.
The only reason is because my phone pinged for the goal and I seen him going through a one-on-one. But then when I seen him scooping, I was like, oh, does this go in? And obviously did. But yeah, look, he's fucking mad. That's probably the last finish he probably should have been picking. But
the thing I love the most about it is when they show Klopp's face. And you see, you don't even have to see a half and half screen of him running through. You can just see Klopp going, and then you can see him chipping going, what? All right, he's done it. Because Klopp was like, what is this?
He's the lowest hanging fruit in English football at the moment.
Of course he
is.
Well, I tell you, if Darwin Núñez had the game Haaland had yesterday, it would have been, hour upon hour across the showy channels.
But to be fair, the keeper did everything he should do.
Oh, yeah.
He got out, made the angle narrow, so the slotting it by him was going to be difficult. The only other option was probably to go around him. And as Keith said, he's done that before and hit the post. So, and it's very hard to make that finish with the ball running away from you. Normally, if it's maybe just even sitting at your feet, you can just dink it over him. So, it was unbelievable. I heard it and immediately went looking for the video.
Yeah.
While I was stopped at traffic lights.
Yeah. But look, it makes it 1-0, and I think after the first 10 minutes, I think Liverpool did take fair control of the game. The passing was good. They were pressing. Everything you expect from Liverpool, they were doing it well. After the first 10 minutes, Brentford getting a few balls in the box and stuff like that. But I think Liverpool just decided, right, no nonsense here, and our quality will show out. And I think they probably, it was very evident from early on, and it's probably, if you watch Brentford every week, it's probably evident every week. They're so open at the back. They're playing.
Unreal.
It looks like they're playing 3 centre halves, and 2 of them are fucking have chalk on their boots. It's absolutely insane what they're at. But Liverpool probably identified that and went, look, we get chances, just don't make any silly mistakes. Second goal. I'm trying to think of the fucking second goal.
McAllister.
Salah to McAllister. And this is a really well worked move because it gets flung up the pitch. I think it might be Van Dijk or Konate wins a header. Someone wins a header.
Endo.
Was it Endo?
Endo.
Oh, it was Endo. Yeah, he wins the header. Gravenberch does really well because there's a fella hanging out of him. He manages to position his body to keep hold of the ball, plays it into Salah. Salah moves with it and then plays a brilliant ball to McAllister, who's touch inside the defender, is brilliant and doesn't hurry, doesn't try sweep a home, whatever. Just gets a toe to it and puts it in the corner. And that's the benefit of having McAllister that little bit forward. But that's the benefit of having Salah back because his eye for a pass over the last couple of years has just gone through the roof for me. The goals are great, but the eye for a pass and the delivery of them is absolutely excellent. And Emma, I'm looking at midfielders for Liverpool, and there must be. Do they all have 3, 4, 5 each at this stage? Because Endo's chipped in with a few in all competitions. McAllister definitely has. Szoboszlai has. Gravenberch has a couple. Elia has a couple.
Over 10 as well, I think.
Yeah.
Although
Well,
you probably class him more of
four
a
of our
forward.
5 strikers have 10 goals in all competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the midfield,
And Diaz must be close as well.
Diaz won't be close, but Emma, like,
Yeah.
this is the value of having players that want to get in the box and know what to do when they get there.
Yeah, and it's something that we've complained about. Like even last season, we were complaining. I'm not even sure how many goals came from midfield, but we weren't getting enough goals from midfield, and that problem seems to be solved. You're saying we love to see the midfielders that get into the box. Who was standing right beside McAllister when he scored? Endo.
Yeah, after winning the
You
header.
see what I mean? And we're saying that allows McAllister to get that little bit forward because we're thinking maybe Endo sitting back. He's literally standing on his shoulder as he actually places it in.
Go
But
mad
yeah,
that he
like
didn't dummy you.
yeah. But it's a great header from Endo. Again, for the size of him, he gets up in the middle of the park and wins it. Like you said, Gravenberch. That's one thing I like about Gravenberch is when he receives the ball, he tries and positions the ball as far away as possible from the person that's marking him, and then obviously tries to turn him, and then the ball to Salah. And I think Kev said, I listened to a bit of the post match as well then, and Kev said that like for a left footer playing that ball in at that angle to McAllister was excellent as well. But yeah, it's a cool finish. It's look, he traps the ball and it comes back through Ben Mee's. Is it Ben Mee's legs? I think.
It's one of them lads that
Not saying
play
it was
centre-half.
intentional, but yeah, it was like kind of level headed. He didn't panic and slotted it home. So look, it's great to see the lads getting goals. When the strikers weren't firing a few weeks ago, the goals were coming from midfield. Now they're all scoring in games. So look, I'm not too overly worried. Not to get into talking about injuries. I still think we have enough. I'd love to have more, but I think with the goals that we're having from front and midfield, I still think we have a lot.
We make it 3 through Salah and Shawnee. This is just a ball up the pitch from Kelleher. A flick by Gakpo, who's just trying to get a flick on in hope. And the ball bounces 30 yards from Brentford's goal. And it's not a Brentford player in 25 yards of it. In the middle of the fucking pitch. And I was like, where are these boys gone? Like, if I'm a Brentford fan, I'm sitting there ground, I'm pulling me fucking hair out. Like, I'm nearly sure he played 3 centre halves. And I'm like, where are they all gone? And then Salah just goes, hold on. And
he went by one.
Yeah, he did. He just kind of went by one, Shawnee, gets onto it, and he's up against Nathan Collins, and he just fakes the shoot, goes past him, and then holds off a big boardy fucking defender and just slots it across the keeper. And the finish was great, Shawnee, but the biggest thing for me was he just took off. There was no kind of, was he worried about his hamstring or his groin or whatever was wrong with him? He just takes off and says, I am all over that, and makes it 3-0. And he's so good to have him back, Shawnee, because, we've raved about Jota and Diaz, Nunez, Gakpo, Bradley, whoever, over the last 6 weeks or whatever when Salah's not being here. But to have him back is huge, Shawnee. No matter what state the squad is in, it's just...
Still the man.
Yeah, he's the king.
Still the man. He is the man, yeah. He's still the man. And, yeah, man trying to shoulder him in the box and then just going absolutely bleeding full set, didn't he? Hitting a clue. That's a Mao goal. Like, that's the 4th season when he came in and he was literally unplayable. That's what reminded me of going back across the goal then as well to finish. And again, like, just fucking to say we didn't miss this fella, this is how good we have been. You know what I mean? And he's back now, and just with Jota potentially missing a while, it's just wrap this fucker up and do everything we can and just get ahead in games and get him off and put him on the bench and say, listen, Mo, now you're hungry for golden boots or whatever, but I'd rather you just be fucking firm, ready to go whenever we need you.
Yeah.
A real difference maker. He's done it time and time again for Liverpool since the day he walked in the door. There hasn't been a better attacker in the league since he walked in terms of goal scorer forward. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Go on about Haaland or whatever. It is tap-ins. Salah is just a joke, and who knows where it's going with him, but whenever he's around and in form, Liverpool are always in the hunt. and that's all you can kind of ask for. I'd love him to stay on because I do think he genuinely has a chance at breaking records now, because the old Saudi thing is not great. From the reports coming from there and players going there, he should really. I just don't think he's ready to retire yet. I think, and that's what that would be. That would be him retiring if he went there effectively. And I just can't see it. He just seems like a fella who's still playing football at the very, very top end of the game. And just so fucking, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, Jota goes off and you're a bit disheartened, and you say, it's Mo coming on. You know, I think in an ideal world he probably comes on at 70. You know, but he was there when we needed him. Just a monster of a player. A monster of a player.
just touching on the because look, the Jota injury is very unfortunate yesterday, and I think Diaz is slowly coming back to form. I think he's been in quite good form over the last while. I think he's much more of a threat, and he's contributing. As someone said there, he's 9 goals in all competitions, which is not bad considering he's been out for a little bit, and the whole thing with his dad and everything. And the Jota loss, wherever it's going to be, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, 1 month, we don't know what it is. We wait till the club tell us what's going on, right? But at the end of the day, look, Jota's been in superb form, and we said it a couple of weeks ago. You want Jota fit for the rest of the season because just he is, like you said earlier, he's clutch. As soon as the chance comes, Jota will take it for you. But on the not the bright side of it, I suppose, but Shawnee, that we're still looking at Diaz, we're still looking at Núñez, we're still looking at Gakpo, we're still looking at Salah. And I think with Núñez still trying to something to prove, I think Diaz trying to prove how good he is, Gakpo trying to get back to the form he was of last season, and Salah coming in going, these boys have done me a right bleeding, a right shift in here for me while I was away. I owe it to them now to absolutely go for this. It's not all doom and gloom, despite the Jota now, Sean.
No. Look, can't be doom and gloom. We're fucking... We
can, Shawnee.
No, we go top of the league again yesterday with City. Like we like you were thinking, like, right, we still have to beat City in a couple of weeks' time. There's no fucking doubt about it. But there was a chance we beat City, and you might need snookers in the other end because you're forcing it to. Like, them dropping points yesterday and us winning was huge. Like, think about the narrative, right? If that had been the half-12 game, they drop points, and then we go and slap Brentford up. Everyone would have been like, fucking lovely. Look, there you go. That's a massive win for Liverpool. But because Liverpool just kind of went about their business yesterday and it was a 4-1, and then you have Arsenal doing their fucking party pieces, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest with you. I'm loving all that Arsenal chat at the moment because I think it means we can just go about our business.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge. It's so huge. And I love how kind of when we got beaten a couple of weeks back by Arsenal, we were immediately discounted by everyone who doesn't matter. And I'm being serious when I say that. Anyone who doesn't matter just immediately discounted us. But it was never going to be the end. There's plenty of twists and turns to come in this year. And I fucking... Chelsea did us a proper solid yesterday because I don't normally watch City, but I watched the game yesterday. And you see all the stats, and the stats were accumulating them stats that they normally do, whereas they've won 11 on the spin since December 19th, and they're coming down the tracks, and then that just goes bop, that stops that, and now they have to go again. They have to come to Anfield now and beat us. They need to come to Anfield and beat, and that the record at Anfield is shite when there's fans in the ground. They haven't beaten us there under Pep when there's been fans in the ground. They haven't been able to manage it. They have to go to Spurs. They have to play Arsenal at home. So it's there for us to be like, you're thinking near perfection is needed. If we can beat them, if we can beat these cunts in a couple of weeks' time and do the job beforehand, you're putting yourself in the driving seat. And I think momentum is fucking real. I don't care what anyone says. I was listening to a podcast the other day with Patrick Mahomes. Now, a lot of people don't like him, but he's a born winner, and he turns around and talks about the importance of momentum in sport, that the effect it has on a team, that especially in a team who's won before, when it's gone, they know it's gone. And when you have big personalities in the team say, right, this is on here and we just need to keep the fucking momentum rolling. And that's what I actually think we have in our favour at the moment, because we're not really being talked about. But because yesterday, City have to come to Anfield and beat us now. They have to. They absolutely must. They've no choice. Now, we could fucking drop points on Wednesday, which I highly doubt. They could drop points again on Tuesday, and then they're kind of going, fucking hell, they're wobbling. Champions League coming back around with them, ticking fast. Bit of luck Friday, we get a reasonable draw in the Europa League where we can kind of rotate a little bit. It's fucking there. It's there to be won. It's absolutely there to be won. We do need a little bit of luck on the injury front, but you just have to hope that Szoboszlai, Trent coming back in, and then the added boost of Alisson in a few weeks whenever he's ready will just kind of give it that little bit of rejuvenation again. Momentum is huge. This is fucking... It's big for us yesterday. Look at their celebration when they got the equaliser yesterday. Look at City's celebration when that's a huge let off. They thought we're going, and I thought as well. They think, these are just going to fucking crumble now, and we'll beat them. And then the elation of the equaliser to the petulance at full time. They're feeling the pressure.
It wasn't the 2 points dropped. That was the big. Well, it is a big thing, but it was their reaction yesterday that I thought. It kind of confirmed to me that in the back of their minds they're thinking these cunts Liverpool won't go away, and now we're at giving them the free hit back. You know, Owen Conway says a draw at Anfield with City, considering there's no chance we win at Goodison or Old Trafford. Are you fucking serious? Does Owen think we've no chance of winning at Goodison or Old Trafford?
Okay. I've seen a few people have said that recently, putting Liverpool down for. Well, putting them down for losses, never mind fucking draws. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, but you'd have to say, and Shawnee touched on something, and I'm a huge believer in it as well, is the momentum thing. If you've got a team that have done it, and Man City have a team that have done it, and they have muscle memory and know what to do. Liverpool have a new team, but they still have all the big boys that are there. The Virgils, the Alissons, the Robertsons, the Salahs, Trent, that have done it and seen it and know what's needed. And they've also got a fan base that have done it. Now, Arsenal don't have that. Arsenal have a couple of players that came in from Man City that won the Premier League. But they have a fan base that haven't seen the Premier League in about, 19, 20 years or something, is it since they won? Or maybe it's not that, is it?
2003,
Arsenal,
2004, wasn't it?
So 20 years. 20 years since they've won it, so they've also got a jittery bleeding fan base to deal with. I think we're underestimating Liverpool in this run in. Momentum goes a long way, and the more you keep chopping down them trees, gets easier and easier. And I don't know, I think if we do the City one and we can get the win there, I think the others just become part of the process. You know what I mean? It's just
let me ask you something, because it came into my head there. Rory Fitzgerald says, I was looking up City's record after Shawnee mentioned it. 11 in a row, and Liverpool are still top of the division, which just shows what sort of form Liverpool are on as well. But Keith, you were talking about, get that done. The other one takes care of themselves. We were talking a couple of weeks ago about, look, these block of games, get through them. Injuries will come back, and we were talking about, do we have to kind of have the same conversation again here? Because I know there's, obviously Luton, Chelsea in the Cup, Southampton in the Cup, Forest away, City at home. That's our next 5. Right?
Yeah.
But there's only 3 league games in there. Luton, Forest, City, right? That's before, and then you're at the 9th or 10th of March. 9th of March, I think, is the City game, right? So you're halfway into March, right? But is this what Liverpool have to do again? They always go on about we take every game at a time, and everyone fucking says that. It's one of the biggest cliches in football. But do Liverpool, I think, have been looking at these block of games going, we'll get lads back, we'll get Mo back, we'll get Endo back. And at the time when we were talking about it, we'll have Szoboszlai back, and I think Trent gets injured in the middle of it. But we're kind of trying to map our way through a couple of fixtures and getting the boys back for whatever might come. It's the same situation again, isn't it, Keith? It's probably, but you have to include the City game in this. I think it's actually manage the City game, and then you're looking at lads coming back, and then you go, right, where are we? Right, let's go for it. And I think people are underestimating Arsenal a little bit, by the way. Go on, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think you have to look at it in blocks, and I think Jurgen always looked at it in blocks. You look at this group of games, and look, the way it's fallen, no, we don't want the injuries, and we don't know the severity of Saturday's injuries, and we know Alisson and Trent, and, back then we thought Thiago would have made an appearance, and he's now been ruled out as well. So injuries happen. We've dealt with them well up till now, but it's not the worst group of 5. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm going to the Luton game. I'd be happy enough to say a bleeding League Cup third round type team and that. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean to underestimate Luton, but if we have to start managing a squad and giving minutes to the fringe players, and I'm talking about the Harvey Elliott's, do you know what I mean? Like, so be it. Do you know that way? I'll sacrifice me entertainment for 3 points, because the 3 points just keeps it rolling and keeps it rolling. And then, as you say, we've got the League Cup final. Look, that'll be difficult. Chelsea, they're not a great team, but right, we made shit of them there the last time, but they're on the back of a good point against Man City. They'll feel like they should have won that game, rightly or wrongly. They'll feel that they probably let the point slip. But I fancy us to be able to beat them. You know, Kelleher coming in, it's no bad thing. I thought, by the way, he was excellent yesterday. And Burnley, I thought he was excellent too in a row.
He's unlucky for their goal. He makes a brilliant save for their goal.
Makes it great. Can't put it anywhere else. It's blasted at him. He's on his line. He gets it out, and it just falls to the feet. But I just think, you know, a run of games for him, right? We all want Alisson to be playing, but we knew Queeveen would be playing the League Cup final. And anyway, so he gets that. We roll in there to Southampton and Forest. You know, that you can't, you know, underestimate these teams, but they're games you should be winning with a bit of squad management. And as you say, then we roll into Man City. And that's the big one. That's where it all ends. Not all ends, sorry, it all comes down to. And if we can win that game, like I said, it just keeps us going. Whereas last week, well, Friday, Man City knew that a draw at Anfield and they win every other game, that's enough for them. Now it's not. You know, so psychologically, I'm putting these doubts, I'm putting these little bruises onto them. How did they deal with it? You were spot on about their reaction. They were the same in Newcastle. Nobody came back and met Newcastle, and they celebrated like bleeding lunatics. And look, I'm not against celebrating, but I think it can be very telling how you celebrate. I think you can get too emotional or too maybe over emotional. How do you manage that? I think Mikel Arteta is a lunatic for it, whereas I know Klopp has done it, but always seem to be able to manage it well. I think there's cracks in Man City, and I think there's an opportunity for us or Arsenal, and I hope it's us, to go in there and win. But we have to look at these games, Gav, and say, look, what I'd expect is a League Cup win, next round of the FA Cup, and 6 points in the league before we get to the Man City game. And I think that's realistic, you know?
Yeah.
It could have been a worse group of games.
Absolutely, it could have been.
And we've been managing injuries all season.
Well, sorry, Jono says here, right, Gav, you got to let the soft spot you have for Arsenal go. I hate them, their fans, Lego head, and they carry on and give them no respect. First of all, I don't have a soft spot for Arsenal. I have respect for Arsenal, way more than I would have Man City, and I've openly said it.
Yeah.
If we have to lose a title to one of those two, I'll happily lose to Arsenal. Don't be worrying about their fan base and everything else. You're paying too much attention to them. And second of all, you're not me dad, so stop telling me what to do. I'm only messing with you. Listen, but no, I think. As much as I think Arsenal have been not too bad with injuries. I think they lose Timber early on. But other than that, they've been fairly okay with injuries. And I'm sure Arsenal fans are going to say, no, we fucking haven't. But I look at the Arsenal team most weeks and I go, bar they change the left back the odd time. They don't do an awful lot, with regards to changes. They seem to have a steady 15, 16 lads that are always available. And that's maybe testament to the way they're coached or the way they're whatever. I don't know. But and people will point that out, and that's absolutely fine. I think Arsenal are playing very, very well despite what I see as limitations in their squad, i.e. the numbers. While we have better numbers, a deeper squad, but we're dealing with more injuries, so it's kind of leveling it out. And I think right now Arsenal are 2 points off us, and we're going on about how good we've been. Arsenal are 2 points off us, and there's only 12.
But what they're doing, they seem to be taking care of the lesser teams this time, don't they, Arsenal? They seem to be hammering them where they bat
West Ham, and they get 2-0 up against Burnley yesterday, and Burnley literally just stop. Like, watch the highlights.
The Palace as well, a couple of weeks ago.
Burnley just stop. But look, it'll all come out in the wash, I think, in the next probably 6 to 8 league games. And when you're 5 or 6 left in, that's when you'll really see where people are. But Liverpool have as good a chance as anybody else. John, I just can't stand Arsenal fans. I can't stand fans of most clubs. But don't let them affect you. They're only fucking idiots online. Let's be honest about it. Yeah, there's not many Arsenal fans you meet in person that go on like they do online. So don't worry about it. Emma, couple of things. Cody Gakpo, I think that's a big goal for him. I think it's a really big goal for him. And I want to give you this as well, because Kat said very early on, given our injuries, would rather prioritise to play our best players against Luton in the league than against Chelsea at Wembley, i.e. put more emphasis on Luton. Keith's not in that boat because he said it a minute ago. So how big is that goal for Gakpo? And I'll let you kick it off. What way would you go with regards to these two teams? Because I don't think I don't think he might be of that thinking. I just think he's going to go, I'm putting out that team and see what happens.
In terms of Gakpo, yeah, massive. But he's got a few goals like that, the tail end goals this season, and you hope it kind of kicks him on. But I think he's the kind of player that needs to probably play a few games in a row to kind of build up a head of steam. He was flying before his injury. He probably hasn't reached the heights that he has, but I mean, that may not be down to him. It's also down to other players like Núñez. The resurgence of Núñez this season with like his all-round game has probably kept him from playing as many minutes as you probably would have thought he did. He was seen to be the preferred one of the two last season. Why are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at a comment from James LFC. Go on.
In terms of God, I think we're good enough, and we still have bodies enough to put out a decent, like Keith said, a League Cup third round. Now, I'm talking about this season League Cup third round.
Yeah,
we were able to play. We're able to play an Elliott. We were able to play a Gravenberch. We were able to play a Gakpo. They're still, for me, pushing to start games for us. Do you know what I mean? They're not, like we said, and again, not just being disparaging against the younger lads. They're not Bobby Clark. They're not McConnell. They're not like the other lads, Kumas and stuff like that. I think we have enough there to make about 4 or 5 changes and still have enough to beat Luton. And yeah, look, you're going to put out. Look, we already know who's going to start and goal. We know Keller's going to start and goal. He's going to start and goal on Sunday. Allison was never going to play Sunday. I think you said at the start it's probably a slight of a blessing in disguise that Keller is probably not going into that cold. But no, I think we can go semi-strong on Wednesday and then bring in maybe a little bit stronger for Chelsea. I don't think we have to sacrifice one or the other. I wouldn't be all for. I know I probably said back in 2022 that I'd nearly sacrificed the League Cup for 3 points. I think the League Cup is a great start to win silverware in February.
Yeah, look, it's
always nice.
At the end of the day, they're playing a game at the weekend for a cup, right? They're playing a game.
People talking about sacrificing cup finals. Fucking what?
No, but you see, the thing is, right? People are talking about at the end of the day, they're playing at the weekend, right? So the way Liverpool will approach this is we're playing a midweek
and it's Sunday,
and a Sunday game. It's like most weeks.
Exactly.
It's like most weeks. I think what he'll do is he'll go out with very similar to what he done on Saturday, and then he'll assess and he'll probably make a couple of changes for the League Cup final. That's what I think he'll do. But having said that, what's left there, I have no issue with them playing Wednesday or Sunday. Nobody in there you're kind of going, he is bleeding desperate. I don't want him anywhere near it. There's nobody. Genuinely, there's nobody that's played this season where you go...
When you think back, if you think of it like, if Jarell Quansah comes in and starts on Wednesday, nobody's having a bleeding shit fit. You know what I mean? No. Because a young centre-back is coming in, because they've earned that throughout the season. Bradley is established now because we don't have the right-back options. But we could go in there and put in, let's say, Joe Gomez could come in to give Robertson a break. You could bring in Quansah, you could start, but midfield is getting a bit light. You know, Elliott could come in and Gakpo could come in. You could make 4 or 5 changes and still have a really strong team, you know, and I think that's the way we'll go about it.
You have 5 changes. You go out and put the team out against Luton. You go and do your job. No disrespect to Luton. They were quite good against Manchester United today. They've been good for most of the season, in fairness.
Yeah,
they've been They've been competitive in nearly all the games. Has anybody actually hammered them? I don't think they have. And you go out and you can make 5 changes. Get 3-0 up on 65 and take 5 of them off. Won't make a difference. So I'm not too into this. What you do this for Wednesday, for Sunday? Take the next game in front of you. It was going to be Luton at the weekend if you weren't in the League Cup, but it's Luton on Wednesday because you are in the League Cup. Just go and deal with Luton. Simple as that. Can I? Before we go, There's a couple of penalties in this game yesterday that aren't given, and I just can't get my head around them. Shawnee, Diogo Jota is just picked up and body slammed by a fella that just has no interest in where the football is or what's going on. And then Andy Robertson decides to just run into the back of Ivan Toney for no reason. And I can't understand for the life of me how neither of them are not giving us a penalty.
I can.
Well, apart from the obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing it now time and time again. Like, what can you even say? I don't, Gav, there's no even point fucking talking about them. They're brutal again today in both games. In both games. Like, there's a career-ending challenge in the Sheffield game. And
that's horrendous.
Your man gives you
yellow.
Well, in fairness, I think the angle he's at, I don't... No, I think that, in fairness, I think the angle he's at, I don't think he sees the contact made. I think he actually sees the player goes across him and does catch him, right? But doesn't see how high he catches him up, because in fairness, he gives the yellow and he goes over, and before the replay is even over, he's back on the pitch going, will you ever fuck off? I think, in fairness, that one, but I think the other one you're talking about might be Casemiro running around kicking lads for fun.
Yeah, like, just because Casemiro's is like a fucking over 35 players off the blade, and out of the United Churches League, he gets away with just booting people up the pitch. Like, do me a favour, it's fucking, it's piss poor, and this is why you get a real bee in the fucking bonnet when people start going on about who's being appointed official for the Liverpool game. It doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. They're all as bad as each other. There's not one of them that stands out in a positive way. They're all fucking terrible. So it doesn't make a difference. It's just, I watched that yoke yesterday. The Jota one, I've not seen many of them given at all this season. The only one I've probably seen given is at Old Trafford for Man City. I think Rodley gets one like that. Other than that, you haven't really seen them much. So you kind of say, do you know what? The real book would probably state that's a penalty, but they're consistent on that. But like, how is that one not given on Robertson? Like
I don't know.
What was he thinking?
And people are saying Ivan Toney was playing for it, and I was like, hold on, Ivan Toney's standing there waiting for the ball to come to him. He just goes to trap a ball, and Robertson just comes in and just runs through the back.
It's no reason. And I was watching the game with Alan, my brother Alan, yesterday, and I said, like, imagine the game is 0-0 and you don't get that up to the end. You're fucking pulling your hair. You're going ballistic, and that should be the way you look at it. Like, you know what I mean? That should literally be the way you look at it.
Like, it's definitely a penalty, Robertson, on Toney. But I think the one on Jota is definitely a penalty as well. And I get, you see players making a run around the back and someone grabs hold of their jersey and stuff like that. But this was, like, as people are saying, both of them are holding. No, what's happening with Jota? Jota's putting his arms up as if to go, I'm just going to get a move on this fella. You know the way you put your hand up to them, get a move, get your arm across him. Yeah, man literally doesn't look at the ball. Just wraps himself around him and just jumps on the ground with him. It's, and like, VAR is looking at that and saying, both of them are holding. But that is completely
if you're doing that on 20 yards inside your own half, the ref's giving a free in, like, you know what I mean? That's like that. It's to put it this way, Kanate does that every time you get turned to the striker.
Yeah.
He goes in, he's front footed, and he's fucking wrestling the striker to the ground. He's getting booked for it. He got sent off against Arsenal for doing it twice.
Yeah, John says City got 2. Haaland at Chelsea was 1 as well. Which was, I don't even remember that.
You don't see them you don't look, City are on the end of the day. You go, you'll have the fucking lads with the tinfoil hats on, blade beaming away there in the sitting rooms.
Well, everything's corruption now. Everything, doesn't matter what it is.
But he gives a free out in a corner soon after that.
Yeah,
I think it might be straight after it for like a small bit of pushing in the box.
Yeah,
there's no consistency at all in it. Like it's
but you have to take context into it as well. No forward holds a defender on a corner. The forward's getting away from the defender. The defender's holding the forward. Do you know what I mean? Common sense. It's not like Jota is fucking grabbing him so he can stay beside him. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it was. Look, I just had to mention him because it was a bit mad. There was a...
But can we say, by the way, before we move off from that, can we just, a last bit on the refs, how much of a fall has Michael Blade Oliver had? Because he is absolute geek now, and he was regarded as one of the top refs in the world.
You just get lumped in with them, though. That's what happens. You can lump them all in together now. That's what I was saying yesterday. It doesn't really make a difference. Like it's stupid. Like, you're gonna have that little bally bastard on Sky tomorrow, bleeding.
Which one?
On the south box, James Gallagher, like
Oh,
on the
yeah,
south,
yeah.
on a south box
Good
again,
rings in, man.
grandstanding, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah,
It's a
and
disgrace to
just
Dublin
doing everything
40.
you can to vindicate.
He is,
his
for more
decision.
reasons than one.
What?
Anybody that changes their accent for me can't be trusted at all.
Yeah, look, if you look,
Fucking hell.
I
He
was
says, I
like,
did
what?
it because I'd be understood over in England. Robbie Keane, Roy Keane. There's been dubs on English TV for donkey's years, and he apparently changed his accent to be
Yeah,
understood.
He's very good
way
at
over
it,
that.
it must be said.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
good,
Yeah.
good at the
Yeah.
English
And
accent.
then you hear him on off the ball, and he sounds like he's going down the Irish Town House with a few points after.
Yeah.
I mean, just
And hey, lad, look, Mike Dean now is doing ads for Paddy Power, and fucking Mark Clattenburg
There
is
you go.
the ref on the Gladiators. So just go.
Is Clattenburg being is being appointed as Nottingham Forest referee analyst or something now?
Give me a fucking break.
I'm not messing with you. I'm not messing with you.
Yeah.
No, listen, unless I took this hook, line, and sinker yesterday, right? Because I was like just delighted with Liverpool winning, and I believe anything. You know, yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna get 100 points, even though we can only probably get 96. Mark Clattenburg, I think, has been appointed by Nottingham Forest as their referee analyst. So basically, he's been employed by the football club to analyse referees' decisions for and against them, which I presume, or you know, I don't know what the fuck he's at, but. Yeah, can someone? I'm nearly sure someone can confirm that in the chat before we finish up.
They must film Gladiators in Nottingham, do they? Doing it as a mix-up for them.
Big travelator going over the Trent end.
Yeah.
Is it Sheffield United or Nottingham Forest, Gav?
Nottingham Forest. Jimmy Gill says that's correct, Gav. Yeah, Clattenburg is off to Nottingham Forest as Cal.
in the same way as Barcelona had a referee.
I don't know. But maybe Forest will take 40 points from the next 12 games and to be safe or something. I don't know. He's going into Forest as a consultant to explain why decisions are happening.
Give me a fucking justifying a wage. Something going on
Why
there.
don't you just stick on Sky? It'd be much cheaper. Just stick on Sky.
He's just gonna have a big Nottingham Forest tattoo now beside the Champions League.
Big Stuart Pearce tattoo on his back.
Hey, did I see him? He has did he referee at the Olympics? Because he has Olympic rings tattooed on his arm.
He was the ref in the pole vault. 2 months.
He was the backup fella with the gun for the 100 meters. He was the backup gun.
He used to clean his pole vault.
Don't get me wrong, like you see all this shit that they bring back from the 90s and it ends up being absolute gash, but the Gladiators has been great. It's been really
Is Wolf still on it?
And Bradley Walsh.
No, they have a new one called. They have a new wolf called Viper, I think.
I'd love to see Wolf on it.
Yeah, but Bradley Walsh is playing a great bit of
deadly.
And Guy Mowbray in comms, and then you just see this.
Guy Mowbray is in comms.
Yeah, it's great.
Only sure to bring in Black Andy Gray and Richard Key as a big screen.
Yeah, and you just have and it's like someone in BBC said, do you know what, boys, we've a little bit of budget for the crack. Do you know what we'll do? We'll bring in this Muppet Clattenburg and we'll blow him up and make an absolute tick out of him on the telly every week. And the camera pans them before every game starts, and you want it how serious the fella's taking it. I was watching it and I'm just laughing every time he comes on the screen. It's like a meme. He's a fucking gimp, man, honest to God. He was the best of the bunch at one stage. That'll tell you how far it's gone.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad. But he's the head of referee analyst at Nottingham Forest now, apparently. So big Stuart Pearce or Pierre Van Hooydonk's goal scoring record tattoo on his forearm. I think it'd be illegal. But anyway, that's where it is. Yeah, he's and look, if he's haven't watched the Gladiators, get on it. Big recommendation from Shawnee.
Great bit
of gear. Right, we're going to leave it there. Liverpool did win. They suffered some injuries. Keith's off to watch Liverpool playing Luton, and he knows the rules. If they don't win, he's not allowed to go anymore. That is the rules, especially in a season like this.
They are the rules.
You know the truth. You know how it goes.
You just have to keep it going. Like I said, momentum. Keep it going. Keep on trucking.
How do Brentford feel about you doing the dirt on them?
Yeah, I was at the Fulham game there before Christmas as well, so at least I kept it in West London. This time I'm venturing now to the Luton. Yeah, keeping it local with them.
Before we go, our fundraiser is in the description. The link is there as well. It is for fan supporting food banks in Liverpool and the Lighthouse in Dublin. As I always say, if everybody watching here and everybody that downloads gives a quid, we literally piss through this 10,000 euros. And I mean that. If everyone here now just clicks that link and puts €1 in, right, we will literally piss through it. Right, so there you go. We're not asking for 5. If you want to give 5s and 10s, go ahead, give 5s and 10s. But genuinely, if everyone here tonight gave €1 and everyone that downloads this show gave €1, we will be through that 10,000 in literally no time. And I mean that, no time. Phil is doing some mad stuff where he's running hills, cycling. He's in kayaks, I'd say. He's all sorts of stuff going on. That's 5 huge channels for the Laura Lynn Hospice. The link is in the description for that. And football prizes, the Xavi Alonso prize is still there. There's a couple of days left on that. I think it's $3.95 a ticket, and it is the Xavi Alonso custom signed, framed LEDs on the frame, built-in TV with highlights of Istanbul, and loads of other prizes that can be won as well. If you want to support any of that, go ahead and do it. If you want to support the golf day that we're having, whether you want to sponsor a tee box, long drive, nearest the pin, if you want to play, if you want to donate prizes for our raffle, you can get us at talkinkop1@gmail.com. Emma, anything else before we go?
No, all good.
All good? All right, okay. Keith.
No,
someone,
all good.
No, I want to ask you a question.
I thought you were just saying
someone recommended a band to me during the week that I don't fucking know them, and I should probably. They're from Dublin, called the Fontaines.
Fontaines, DC.
Yeah, any good?
No.
I don't know if they'd be your cup of tea now, to be honest,
No,
Gav,
but songs
give them a go.
I've listened to about 3 of their songs. I was falling asleep while listening to them. It was late. But I just thought the fella doesn't sing. Just talks an awful lot.
Yeah,
a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Sean,
he's not having them at all. If they're watching, if he's watching, lads, changing.
How bad do you have to be to sound like Richard Ashcroft on heroin? Honestly, that's the only way I can do it.
Okay.
You know what? You're at the start, me. I wouldn't go to bed now in bad form because of you.
stick on the Grease Mega Mix, you'd be fucking.
It's not. It's like fucking people who run 10K and said, "I really enjoyed that." You're lying to yourself. You don't like. Nobody listens to the Fontaines DC and go, "This is absolute pony." It's absolute. It's like and I'm going to the shops and I'll buy a pint of milk and I'm going to because she let me fucking that. I'm like, this is poison. And here, I'm not joking you. That's exactly what he sounds like.
I'd like to say I regretted asking this question, but I have not regretted asking this question at all. And it was a genuine one. Anyway, aside from the Fontaines,
Fontaines DC.
Aside from that, they're shy.
Friends of the show, by the way.
Yeah. And our new intro music is brought to you by the Fontaines. Shawty's not on this week because of contractual disputes. Shawty, anything else before
Who recommended them to you?
Just a lad I was talking to during the week.
Yeah, well, don't speak to him again.
Okay, I won't. That's all right.
Delete his number there. Go on.
Well, I got to block.
Delete.
Boys, I'm not joking you. Go on and listen. I'm not. That's exactly the way he sounds. And I'm going down the shops and what?
Yeah, I found he wasn't singing. I found he was just.
And I'll tell you what, he's making a fucking fortune.
I know, yeah, but no, listen, come here.
Didn't they have a range of football jerseys or something to do with West Ham?
Yeah,
didn't they?
Bowes. Look, Gav, do you know who listens to them? Your man Lambert, who was involved with Bowes.
That'll do. Anyway, Shawnee, I don't think there is, but is there anything else before we go?
Don't get me started on Bono either. No, I'm only messing. All good.
Right, okay. Anyway, that has been it. Well, what an ending. That has been the Talkin Kop for this Sunday night.
Glenn Parsons. Ashcroft on 2 years gardening leave unless United pay his contract. Honest to God, I believe you are all mad bastards in the channel.
Anyway, that has been the Talkin Kop for this Sunday night. Loads of shows coming this week. We will be doing as many of the 30 shows at 10 a.m. all week. We will be previewing Luton. We will be talking about the weekend's football tomorrow night, previewing Luton on Tuesday, reacting to Luton on Wednesday, and the greatest is there for members on Thursday. So mix of members and main feed as well. So if you're not a member, €4 a month, get involved. The shows to be great crack. Anyway, that has been it. We'll talk to you soon. And yeah, there's a league to be won here. There's no doubt about it. Over and out.